Hello, everyone. Just a live update here. Um, Now, unfortunately, uh, I can't advertise on forexsignals.com. It wasn't intended to be that way in the first place, and unfortunately, because all the questions that people asking me if I'm going to stream, wanted to know about my EA, all that kind of stuff. Um, I tried to tell them in private message, and I told people to PM me because I didn't want to put this into the chat. I got in trouble a little bit from one of the admins there, and I hope I didn't ruin my relationship with forexsignals.com, um, as it's possible. So I have already written a note to Will and to Nick, apologizing um, for even answering the questions regarding the EA and my potential streams. Um, so currently we don't have anybody in here, but it's because I can't advertise the video pretty much anywhere at this point. We just have one person in here at the moment. Um, and like I said, I can't advertise this stream anywhere, especially on forexsignals.com, which I was considering doing. Um, and so for those of you that come from there are just going to have to find out that I'm streaming through YouTube, whether that's a link on email or a notification of some sort. Okay, so I decided to start streaming now because there are no streams going on forexsignals.com, either in the premium room and in the standard room. And I still don't have my video up and running yet, uh, so you can't see my face, unfortunately. But I will have that up for the last trading session of which is tomorrow, on Friday, and so you'll be able to actually see me then. So I apologize for that. Um, so we're going to talk about the current trade, the market situation, the news, what happened with the FOMC, and I'll expect to spend anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. These are going to be pretty short. I know I need to give people some time to actually show up to the stream, um, and so hopefully that's enough time. I know it's going to be a little less interactive because I just have a chart here and no video of myself, but that will change tomorrow. All right, so just give me a sec to get my charts ready. Okay, so you guys know that I took the trade here on the US dollar, Euro US dollar. Okay, you see that the current trade profit is really good. It's at $2,232. Now, I mentioned to people in the chat today that this isn't something that's typical for me to do, to take such a high risk trade. So this account is only $2,400. So a one lot position is actually quite high, right? And I understand that. As a trader of 10 years, I understand that this is a pretty ridiculous trade. Now, when did I enter it and how did I enter it? Well, if we go back to it, we look at the 1 hour chart and I entered right before the news. This trade had basically zero drawdown. The most drawdown I had, I think, was about 6 pips. Um, and it was entered 3 minutes before the FOMC statement came out, or the rate change came out. So really close to that statement. Um, and I was waiting till the last second to do that. I was waiting on this account. As you guys know, I lost pretty big on this account. I think that was something like $5,159 is what I lost 2 months ago during the presidential election. When I left a scalping EA on, I became careless, and unfortunate case happened. All right, so I wanted something to potentially put me back into the game, make my account a little bit better, with the potential to recover some loss. Now, initially, I was thinking, okay, well, if the FOMC statement is that they're raising the rates, then I could make anywhere from 60 to maybe 100 pips, right? Well, then the statement came out, and then the wording behind the statement is what kept me in this trade longer. So I was at about 60 pips profit, 60 or 65 pips profit before Yellen started speaking. And before the information about the statement also started coming out. Um, and it was kind of holding there for a while. So I'm going to mark that. So that's where, right before the statement. Then I saw the wording where they were going to potentially raise the interest rates a few more times during the year. And that immediately gave to me the knowledge to hold this trade for longer than just my initial thinking of 60 to 100 pips. The outlook, and that wasn't just the only positive things they said in regards to the U.S. economy. It sounds like the recovery is still going to be in strong effect through the course of next year. The presidential inauguration is happening on later in January. I think that the Euro USD is going to continue to fall with minor pullbacks during that time for well the next month or so. Uh, the Considering the news for the USD, we have Trump as a very positive driving force for the USD right now. That's not just the USD, it's also the stock market as well. And pretty much everything US related is on the rise um, at the moment, and it will continue to do so until people have a reason to think that it's going to be stopping. Um, So let me just check the YouTube. Okay, so we have just three people watching, and I don't mind doing a stream for just three people. We might have some others that come in later on. Typically, when I was doing the stream on forexsignals.com, I was getting anywhere from 200 to 300 people watching at one point. So that avenue was a big pull for viewership. All right, so um, the thing is nobody knows about my stream. Nobody knows that I'm streaming. It's only those of you that have subscribed to my stream at this point that are watching this. That may change at some point. There is talk of me maybe coming back to Forex Signals and doing streams, but I'm gonna have to talk with Nick. It may be a while before that actually happens. But until that time, I will not be advertising this stream or the EA that I'm selling on eBay on that website. Okay. So back to the trade. I decided to hold this overnight because of all the strength that I see in the future for the USD, and I'm going to be holding it until at least 1.03355. Uh, Now that is a 300, pretty much a strict 300 pip profit on my trade. It's a hard stop loss. Now that might be subject to change. Now if depending on that level. So if I see that level broken, so down here, if it breaks pretty heavily, then I might hold for a little bit longer and put in a trailing stop at that level. And if I get taken out, that's fine. But if it breaks through pretty solidly with later next week, other sort of news comes out, then I may hold it longer. But my initial profit target is about 300 pips. Okay. Uh, so so what we're going to do now, while people are still coming in, is we're going to cover the other pairs to see what is looking good for now. What trades could we enter on? What are the best positions to trade at the moment? Since it's Thursday, we still have a whole nother day. Uh, my I guess my advice with the Euro US dollar would be to wait for it to retrace a bit. There was potential for it to retrace after this bullish engulfing candle. Um, but right now it looks like it's going flat. There wasn't much of a bounce up, um, and it's now continuing to go back down. It still could hit this level again and kind of go back and forth. Looks like I'm having a little bit of trouble with my stream right now, guys. Let me see here. All right, so my stream is going in and out. I'll keep an eye on it just to make sure. Um, But yeah, the Euro US dollar, well, it could waver at this level for a little bit. If we have a clean break of 1. 1.04000. So a clean break, meaning a candle closes below that level in a pretty strong way, then we could see that continuation of the trend. That might not be a bad place to enter an actual trade, is at that whole number. If a candle, a 1 hour candle closes in good strength, anywhere from 10 to 20 pips below that level, then that could we could see more on the downside. And it might be a good place to enter a sell position, a short position. All right, so outlook on the euro US dollar is still short and will be short for, at least for the time being until we see a change in that attitude on the USD. Okay, so on the pound US dollar, the pound has moved down a lot more than the euro at the moment, 73 pips in the last hour. And this is mostly being driven by the pound at the moment. Why? If you check the other crosses like the pound Australian, the pound Japanese yen, you'll also see that it's moved quite a few pips in the last hour as well. Initially, it was about a 70 pip move, and then the pound Swiss franc, also same situation. So you see that a 67 pip push on that too. Okay, um, so. Hold on a second, guys. Uh, so the pound it's on the way down. It's going to be feeding a lot off of um, the USD as well right now. Um, it will push down with the euro unless we have some pound news that really kind of changes the outlook. So far, that's not the case. Uh, I do believe that we will have some pullbacks in the price before the continuation. I don't know if it will be here. Uh, right now we are at a whole number, so we're at a crossroads. It's the 1.24000 that we're looking at for potential bounce. It may not happen. If we get a close, another candle close below that, then this trend can continue. The strength on the USD is really strong, and I think that people are going to continue to drive it to drive it up. So that means that not only the pound USD, the euro US dollar, but also the UJ will be seeing a push on the upside as well. And as you can see, it's already made a lot since the FOMC. All right, and a lot of people were trying to play this top up here, and this was the pullback, and then it immediately jumped back up, and I think that it will continue to ride up as well. Okay, the Euro Japanese yen, a little flatter than the Euro US dollar, but in the last 5 hours we did see uh, this move here. The yen is having a bit more strength than the euro at the moment. This was a very good reversal candle. All right. And it was quite big though. I'm not sure if that was a tradable candle because of how big that move is in just 1 hour, 76 pip move. If I were to trade that, I would probably look for just 20 or 30 pips after the candle happened on the counter trend side. All right. So this pair is on the upside. It's a little bit more sloppy, a little not as quite as clean as say the UJ, but it is still on the way up. Um, And right now, this was the support level on the continuation. Um, so I would expect this to hold out just a bit here in price and then potentially continue to move up. So just because views are low in the actual live stream, that's okay. People will watch this video later on when they have a chance for the market update analysis that I'm giving here. The odd USD. So, guys, if you remember watching my stream earlier this week, I did do a stream, and I marked a couple of levels. on this pair. Um, so the day that we were talking about, I was talking about the odd being a good pair to trade, was these two levels. Whoa, sorry. So I marked these two levels, um, and they were also placed here. And I was calling it this was a triple top here, double top at this point where it was hit twice at these two levels. And there was the potential to ride that down. Now, my initial take profit would have been pretty small. We did have an inside candle. There was the push up, new high on the bullish candle, inside candle. Right after that, right at the peak, inside candle is what the one I'm circling, and then the push down. Now, it did go down slightly and then bounced back up. We had a wick on the candle, showed us that there was a failed push back up, and then a continuation back down at that point. On this particular trade, if I were to would be looking just for 20 pips. Now, initially, it just went 14 pips. Not amazing. It was also not very volatile at this time. But it did push back up, hit that same level again, did break through it this time. We did have a wick on the top, and it decided to pull back down to that same level again. And then we looked like the trend was starting to change. So we're looking at that level. We had a new higher low, higher high, higher low, then this top level was hit. Again, lots of wick candles at the top, showing us some weakness up there. And then we had this beautiful little candle. And this was slightly before FOMC, I believe. Let me see. 12, 14, 11. It was actually slightly after. It was a couple or slightly before FOMC that candle happened. It was about 2 or 3 hours before. Oh, sure. Crash Chef. I could show that. Um, hold on. He wants me to show my current stats. So these are my current stats on the smaller account that I'm trading. Uh, and this is the EA that I am actually selling on eBay. I know it's a high price, guys. I know it's a high price, but it is a really good EA. And that's why I'm selling it for a high price because it will give you profit, and it will give you profit over the longer term too if you use my settings. Um, so right now, the expectation for this account is 30 to 50% per year, maybe more, with 50 to 1 leverage using OANDA. This account was open on the 17th of November, so I have just 2 months of history. No trades in the last 2 days since FOMC. I did have a trade just before that. Looking really good. Only 30.34% drawdown with a 6% 0.6% monthly profit expectation, which it should increase over time. So this account that I have here, I did remove this account from my FX book because I did margin it. I lost 65% of the account. So what's the point of leaving it there? I hate removing accounts from my stats. But in this case, I was going to withdraw the funds, um, and but decided that I was going to wait it out, see if there was any opportunities that came along to maybe make some of that money back. And I traded my account once, and I traded it once during NFP on the first. Sorry, it was December, the first Friday of December. So that was the 2nd of December. I traded it. And it was not a really high risk trade. It wasn't as high as this one I have here, the one lot, but it was about, I think it was about 0.25 or 0.5 on the lot size on this account. Now what happened was I was trying to work. Let's see if I can find it. Now, if you guys know No Fault Payroll or NFP, a lot of times there's a whipsaw action that happens, um, and there was an up and down type of thing. Initially, it moved up and then it moved back down. I did take some pips and then I got stopped out. I got stopped out at a minimal profit of about $10 or something like that. It was a higher risk trade, and I understood that, and I was willing to again lose a little bit, and it didn't happen. I protected my trade by closing out at break even, and it did move up to hit that, and I came out with just a small amount of profit. Now I didn't trade the account at all until the FOMC statement came out, where I saw a big opportunity uh, for the push down with the Feds raising the rates. And the big one for me. It did happen that not only did they raise the rates, but there are more potential for raised rates in the future. Uh, Let me go back to okay. Uh, by the way, for the moment, your screen in platform was sharp and clear in this video. Now it's like behind fog again. Okay. Right now it looks pretty sharp to me. I've stopped. I have to close down. I have to close down forexsignals.com, unfortunately. I think because I can't pause the screen. Um, Hold on. I think I know what I can do. Okay, so that should fix my stream quality a lot. uh, okay, yeah, Krashev, again, very good point. How are you going to provide for your family with profits from this? So what's the point of this account? That's a great question, and I'm glad that you asked that. Um, what's the point of doing an account that is only $500? All right. It's pretty simple. I'm trying to gain stats. Now, stats will allow me to get followers and to show my stats to companies, to forex brokers, and to have uh, the potential to make some income off of having a profitable trading history. Um, so that's the main thing I'm going for with this account. It's also to show my EA that it can be profitable with a small account and people can purchase it as well. But the main thing is to gain some stats. Um, Now you're saying, oh, Viper's trading hundreds of thousands and millions. Yes, he is. And I also am planning to change that. I have anywhere from 50 to $100,000 that's coming in the next couple of months, and I will be using that to trade with. And so if you guys are following me now, you'll see that I will be trading a large account again, and a lot more than I have in the past once that money comes in. So I'm still getting a blurry feed. I'm going to see if I can change my internet connection to see if that helps at all. It could be YouTube that's causing this issue. Okay, so I just changed connections to see if that will help with the interference going on because of the lower quality of the stream. Um, so there is that potential I may come back to forex signals and I will show the bigger trading account. If not, then I'll just continue to do it here on YouTube. All right. So going back to the charts, the Australian dollar, yeah, I did peg for an entry here for 20 pips, and it did go up against us a bit before it did come back down in a big way because of the FOMC statement. Now, initially, this would have been a great entry candle because it was a top, maybe even a re-entry from our first candle that we saw, inside candle, and then the double top with the second reversal candle. and then the huge push down on the way down. Okay, so the odd Japanese yen, inside candle on the reversal. So on the pullback, so this would have been a counter trend move. Um, and inside candle was pretty powerful. We had a nice new high, a big push, inside candle on the bearish side, and then the push down. All right, and that did happen. The market obeyed the pullback. We don't usually, at least I don't usually look for a lot of pips, anywhere from 20 to 40 pips, and this went about 42 pips. I keep my profits short on the counter trend side. Now, if we were to trade this on the trend side, we'd just do the same kind of idea with the inside candles or reversal candles, but with the trend instead. So, I mean, I already have the area marked here where there was a uh, resistance level that was broken with the big bullish candle that happened there. Um, but the move here went down, and we had an inside candle that happened there. So the pullback, inside candle, and then push back up. Now there was also an inside candle here that happened, and then a second one here. And this one may be a little tight on the actual pip amount from top to the bottom. It's only about 40 pips that we're expecting potential move back up from that point. That might have been a little too small on the pullback on the odd Japanese yen. But this one, yeah, for sure, I would have taken that as an entry. Now, this is not past this is past tense stuff that I'm talking about, but this did actually happen. Now, what we're looking at is the bottom out here, the pullback at this point from top to bottom, and then the break of that level. It made a new high, and then we had a higher low at this point. And if you're looking at the first candle entry, you can look at the second one as well, and you can see that any of those places would have been a great area to enter for us for some pips with the trend. Now there's a couple of ways that you could play the trend in this case. You could enter here and look for a profit at the next swing level. So initially it would probably be around my red line that I marked. So that would be about 32, 33 pips profit. It's not huge. It's a good amount of profit. But it did reverse there a couple of times. Went down, went back up, with potential for it to move back down again, and then it shot up from that point. Um, so instead of waiting for all this part, this half of the move, I just shoot for the 33 pips and leave it at that, and look for the next opportunity. Now on the way back up on the retracement, so let's say that we took our profit at this level and the market started pushing back down. Now I'd be looking for another reversal candle another candle that shows us the trend may continue. So I want it to be a higher low. So we have a low here, a higher low, and I want another higher low to form to give me an indication that this is going to continue. And at this point, this could be in a candle that shows us that the market wants to continue. It wasn't enough for me. It wasn't a great candle. Yes, it was partially engulfing, or it was an engulfing candle. But I want this candle to make a new low, and to give me a wick, and then be uh, a full-bodied candle on the bullish side to give me the indication to enter. So no entry here for a continuation on the upside. Now I'm only going to cover a couple more pairs because I'm coming on my time limit here. CAD Japanese yen. I'm not sure if how many people would trade this pair. We've got the trend up, the reversal candles here, here, and here, and here. That's a lot of reversal candles in one grouping of like 10 hours or so. Um, and when I see that, a lot of times that means that, okay, people are really wanting to push this thing down. or considering pushing and having a pullback. Now, it didn't happen. Didn't happen here. Didn't happen the second time. Didn't happen the third time. And then the fourth time, people finally found their price, and it happened to be right near the whole number at 89. That people decided that that was going to be the spot that they were going to reverse, and that happened. Inside candle, bam. Now, me in the situation, I'd be looking at the high, at the last swing level, and that was actually near the 88 level on the pair. And I would consider actually taking this entry. Now, it didn't make a new high, it didn't break it, but this trade is considerable. The second one, this one is even better. Now, this is probably the one I may have waited for, but it wouldn't have made much difference because there's only like a 10 pips difference between the two. So any one of those entries would have been great. And then it went up, another reversal. I would have held on to the position, and then this one. Now there is potential if there was a lot of pips in between, which I don't think there was. It's only about 38 pips. There would be potential for me to enter on this again because there's 38 pips from my first, or 45 pips from my first order, which is here, to my second order. So I would enter trade 1 at this point, and then trade 2 at the high point with the potential for this to go down. Now it did, and I would have closed out for about a total of 20 to 30 pips. Now that means that the top order would have been in profit and the bottom order would have been in a small loss. All right, so I'm going to cover one more pair, and that's going to be it for the session today. And that's going to be the odd USD, the Euro odd. And this has been on the downside, and it's been kind of a mess. It's been in a big range on the 1 hour. If you look at the longer picture, this whole idea up and down, not a ton of direction on this pair right now. When it comes to the technical side of things, if we're just reading the technical, we want to mark the most important levels. So this level here, that and it happens to be the half number, so the 1.415 level is strong here, here, and in this whole area. It's kind of trying to decide if it's holding or not in this area. And so this level we wanted to mark to see how price is behaving or reacting to that level. Now we see the inside candle here after the new low. We see that's at a half number. There's potential for a bounce there on the counter trend. Again, on pullbacks, we look for a small amount of pips, anywhere from 20 to 40 pips. The total on this move up was for 83, so we would have been well into profit on this. And the biggest thing we would have been looking for is maybe not necessarily taking the counter trend position here, but looking for a place to re-enter on the downside. Now, why on the downside if this has been ranging for the last while? Well, we see that in the last couple of weeks or week, since really the 5th of December, this has been pushing down. So maybe not in the long term it's down, but in the medium term it has been down. And we're looking for it to continue on that downside. So we're looking for hints in price action to help us find a good place to enter. Now, if I'm looking at the candles, I see a weak inside candle here. I see another weak inside candle here. And then I don't see any other reversal candles that would be really worth even considering in this whole area here. Now these candles, the volatility is pretty small. I mean, this pair is pretty volatile already. That I may not have considered entering on these. If I did, it would have been very small, 20 pips or less. Same goes for this one. I would have been looking for a lot less as well. Uh, and unfortunately, I wouldn't been able to drive this price farther down. I mean, only 20 to 30 pips, but if you're looking for the big move for this to continue, which it very likely could, I wouldn't be able to catch that because I don't find that these reversal candles are strong enough or volatile enough to actually move to push that price down a longer ways, although that could happen. All right. So outlook on the euro Australian dollar is still down for me. The outlook on the odd Japanese yen is up. As long the trends in the USD, everything against the USD is falling right now, and it should continue to do so until we hear otherwise. Uh, so the euro US dollar is falling. I want to see a break of the whole number by 10 to 15 pips. I want a candle to close strongly below that whole number, and then we could see more on the downside with the euro US dollar. All right. And until that time, I'm just going to wait it out. Keep watching the technical side of the euro pair of the USD pairs, and I'll also be watching the news to see if any surprises come out that will change the outlook of the USD. And if I do see something that comes out like a surprise in regards to um, uh, Trump all of a sudden like gets assassinated or something like that. Oh yeah, that's going to cause the euro US dollar to change direction completely. That's an obviously a big event that uh, but even on some medium uh, fundamental news announcements that could affect the euro US dollar in the longer term, I'd be watching as well. Um, but until that time, I'm going to be holding this position, and my at least until my 300 pip uh, profit target is hard profit target is hit. Otherwise, uh, I'll pull it out early if I see any potential change in direction. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this stream. Went about 37 minutes. I hope that I can have my video up and running tomorrow so you can actually see me. Maybe my internet will be better as well. Um, and subscribe to my feed if you want to know when a stream is going. Now, I may go during some of the other streams, but it will be in the bracket of 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, 9 Eastern Standard Time to around 11:30 or 11 o'clock, probably around 11 o'clock. So in that hour and a half bracket. I'll probably try to start most days at either 9 or 9:30, but it depends on who is streaming on forexsignals.com because I don't want to interfere too much with that and get Nick and others upset at me. I apologize for posting about or talking about the stream and the EA on the forexsignals.com. If people inquired me about my EA listing on eBay, and they say that they are a Forex Signals member, I will have to turn them down because there is a conflict of interest there that I don't want to be a part of. And but I can show um, I can show the EA here on stream, at least the profit that it's been doing, 6% since I started it on November 17th. Um, and so if you want the EA, I'm sure you can find it on eBay. Just search it out, and you can do that. And anyways, I'll be here for more market analysis. My talk about my EA will be more limited, as making a commission off of selling it is not my focus. Um, and if it was my focus, I'd be trying harder to advertise on forexsignals.com. My focus is making profits in the market, and I feel like I have a decent knack for that. Um, Again, for those of you that are now watching, we have more people in the room. I will be trading with $50 to $100,000 in the next 1 to 3 months, and I will be trading that at Oanda. This will be personal funds, and I'll be shooting for 3 to 5% per month, and it will be a combination of manual trading and EA trading. And will likely be using my EA on lower risk settings, and I'll be taking manual trades on top of that. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and hope to see you next time at around 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And until then, I'm signing off. Have a good day. Bye.